Hey, everybody. This is the Teachers Off Duty podcast. This week, we are talking about veteran versus first-year teachers. It's a wild time. You're going to love it. Please join us.
Welcome to Teachers Off Duty. We are back for another episode. I am Jess Smith, Teacher Tales of Miss Smith. And with me today, I have my amazing friends.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Jonathan Williams, Mr. Williams Comedy. That's me.
I'm Leslie Robb of Leslie Robb Comedy. That's me. Since
I feel like I need to have comedy in like my name.
Well, mine is because, as we've mentioned before, my name is Jonathan Williams. So
you have to give people permission to laugh.
Not available, for one thing, because it's like it's the first name that was ever invented. And also, it just doesn't, you hear my name and you forget it before I've finished saying
so
it.
The comedy helps when that.
It was
it seals you.
Yeah. So comedy is essential for yours.
Yes. It's non-optional.
Totally get it.
Non-optional. All right. Thank you, Mr. Comedy, for being here.
Wait a second. Mr. Williams Comedy. Don't get it messed up. I don't play when I'm mentioning my handle. No, we get that clean. Mr. Williams Comedy.
Whoa. Okay. We are also doing the Board Teachers Comedy Tour. The struggle is real. The struggle.
Indeed it is.
The struggle is real. We are going to, let's talk about January shows because 2025 is coming up. 2025 makes me feel like I'm in a sci-fi movie a little bit.
I know.
Yeah.
And especially
like Blade Runner 2025.
Yeah.
That's right. Because I don't know about you guys, even the cars and stuff are getting to look more like those futuristic things.
It's
like
finally happening.
Musk,
the Tesla, the
SUV,
Cybertruck.
I was like, oh,
hate it.
Oh my gosh, we were literally in Back to the Future.
You mean the Hot Wheels car for overgrown 50-year-olds with no life?
Played.
You're gonna get roasted for that one.
Yeah.
They're coming.
But
for
I
you.
agree with you. I'm gonna stand by you on that one because they are the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life.
When I'm driving by them, I just want to like sort of get even with them and roll my window down, like get them to roll it down and be like, everyone's laughing at you. Everyone's staring, and it's not why you think.
It's like, how can we make the ugliest car ever?
Yeah.
And they did it. Anyway, the Board Teachers Comedy Tour is coming to you in 2025. We are going all over the place, so please check all of those dates. All of those dates are now on sale from January to May. So I'll just go through what we're starting off. 2025, January 15th, we'll be in Reading, Pennsylvania. Then we head down to Maryland and then Virginia Beach and Durham, North Carolina. And then Charleston. I love Charleston.
It's so beautiful.
The
Battery,
so
walking down the Battery.
Yes.
Beautiful homes. Beautiful houses.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
And the shopping is in the most like literally colonial front buildings. It's so pretty.
Oh,
so
okay.
nice.
Go get your tickets for that one. And then January 23rd, we head over to the West Coast.
Nice.
Finally, California, we're coming. Monterey, Davis, Stockton, and Reading. And then the next weekend, January 30th, we're going to be in
Paducah.
Paducah.
It's my favorite thing to say, y'all. Paducah, Kentucky.
They love that.
I bet they do.
They're thrilled.
And then Chesterfield, Missouri, but it is sold out already.
Dang.
So please go get your tickets.
Scalp
And
those
that will
tickets.
happen, guys. That's going to happen a lot.
That's going to
so get your
happen.
ticket.
It's going to happen. Effingham, Illinois. Insert giggles. And then we head across the pond to the United Kingdom. We are going to London, February 7th, Glasgow, February 9th, Birmingham, February 11th, and Manchester on February 12th.
I love Manchester, the way you said it. Just the way you said it.
Manchester. And then the next weekend, we're headed back to the West Coast, California. We were not done with you yet.
California, man.
Fresno, Bakersfield. And then we go to Las Vegas, and Phoenix on February 22nd, February 23rd. Those are low tickets. So please go get your tickets while you can.
Quick.
Quick. And yeah,
TikTok.
cannot wait. And also, Phoenix, Arizona, we just added a brand new show. So you're welcome.
Dang.
We love it.
You're welcome.
It's almost like the tour is popular.
Yeah, or something.
I mean,
really.
just a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Wildly popular.
A little bit.
It is the gift that keeps giving, guys.
It's just crazy that like teachers want to have a good time.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just
really, like
a novel.
It's like they
idea.
leave the school that they live at
that they live at their house.
once a year. It's like the purge.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Right.
Use your purge
They like
day
get out of
to
their
come watch the
blanket
show.
cocoons,
We'll
yeah.
protect you from the purge.
Yeah, that's where it goes down to.
That's what this is really for.
That's how it goes.
No matter what kind of teacher you are, we will see you at the Board Teachers Comedy Tour, and you can go get those tickets at boardteachers.com/comedy-tour. So that kind of like segues into our episode today.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's different teachers in different walks of their of their career.
Oh, for sure.
Veteran teachers and first year teachers. So today we wanted to kind of talk about and share our experiences with veteran teachers, first year teachers, and also share some of your stories about maybe some struggles you had as a first year teacher with a veteran teacher, or like maybe you're a veteran teacher and that's really hard for you to grasp. That's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I would be considered a veteran teacher, which I'm not old enough.
know.
I should not be in charge.
I know. And the fact that that's literally our titles now is veteran. Like, I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, you're a veteran teacher.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're like, and I always feel bad for the first year teachers who come in and they're like, do you know? And I honestly still don't know stuff. Like, I'm not going to lie. There's
takes a good
stuff-
There's
teacher to
a
admit
lot of
that.
stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, I still don't know
And
stuff.
it's always changing.
So,
Uh-huh.
exactly. Especially when like you get this
By
like
the
new
day.
program and you spend all school year learning it. By the time you come back from the summer, we've decided to switch our licensing for that and do
Yeah.
something else.
We've decided to spend $34 million more dollars
yeah, right.
so that someone can justify the existence of their job.
Right. Right.
This has been Thoughts About Districts. But
Yeah.
Yes. No, for sure.
Now, I want to be really, really careful with this episode too, because I don't want this to feel like we're bashing
No,
veteran teachers.
Never.
And I think like there is this almost stigma that we're putting first year teachers versus veteran teachers, and like that's the argument that we're trying to have, and that's not what we're trying to do.
Not at all.
But we are trying to like maybe give some perspective and share some experiences and tales, to maybe cautionary tales to help you not be the veteran teachers that some of these first years had to deal with.
Yeah.
Because
Because actually, like some
Yikes.
of, like literally these last few episodes, that's what it's been about. It's just like kind of, you know, like sometimes you know how it is as teachers, like we get settled and we get comfortable, and then you know sometimes it's just we need to be reminded of certain things, like the difficult students from the last episode, and then this episode in and of itself, like you know, looking as veteran teachers, remembering that yeah, first teachers are first year. We all had that first year. Oh my gosh, my first year. The tears. But like we've all been there. So these are just reminders, not teacher bashing at all, but just reminders. So yeah.
yeah.
Teachers, let me ask you this. How many times have you opened the fridge after a long day, stared blankly at the shelves, and thought, what on earth am I going to make for dinner? After spending all of your energy on lesson plans, grading, and keeping a classroom full of kids on task, the last thing that you want to do is play Chopped Teacher Edition in your own kitchen. That's why this podcast is sponsored by Dinnerly, the most affordable meal kit out there, with meals as low as $2.99 per serving. And right now with our code TOD, you can get up to 27 free meals. That's a week full of miracles right there. With Dinnerly, you can choose from over 100 mouthwatering recipes every week. Whether you're in the mood for comforting steak dinner, oven roasted salmon, or your favorite takeout dupes, Dinnerly's got you covered. My recent favorite, their creamy Tuscan chicken pasta. Quick, easy, and so satisfying after a long day. And guess what? Dinnerly isn't just a lifesaver on busy weekdays. It's your secret weapon for the holidays, too. From holiday brunch boards to herb sausage stuffing and those adorable holiday-like gingerbread cookies, they've got everything you need to host without the stress. Perfect for those classroom potluck commitments or family gatherings. What I love most about Dinnerly is that it feels like it gets me. Fresh, delicious meals that fit into my busy life without breaking the bank. Yes, please. It's like a little self-care at the end of a chaotic day. This holiday season, give the gift of great affordable food with Dinnerly. Head to dinnerly.com/offer/TOD and use the code TOD for up to 27 free meals. Once again, that's dinnerly.com/offer/TOD for up to 27 free meals. And make sure that you use our promo code TOD so they know we sent you.
Okay, what was your experience with a veteran teacher? Like your first year teaching, did you guys have mentor teachers?
I did.
Teachers?
Now, my school district even better.
Oh no!
Oh man, that laugh! You got to go first.
You gotta say-
I rescind it.
It's really not that crazy. It's just that my teacher mentor was like, I think she was like 5 years in. So like, she was not a veteran per se, but she just did not care. like which,
in a good way.
Which I kind of was down with it, honestly.
That's true.
Because she was not like trying to like force a bunch of stuff on me and all that stuff. She was just like, "You good?" I was like, "I'm good." I mean, inside I was like, "I'm not good," but I don't know what help I want.
Yeah, right.
No,
You know what I mean?
true.
That's kind of a big part of it.
That's
It's like
fair.
it's just like, how can we help? I'm like, I don't know. It's tough, but like, I don't know what to ask for.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
fair.
Right.
Yeah.
You're just kind of like experiencing it for the first
Yeah.
time. And
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. My issues were I didn't have this problem that much. I generally like was in my grade level, the 7th grade level, tended to get along pretty well. So like I had lots and lots of struggles as a first year teacher, but the like us versus them, it was there low key, but not too bad, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just
No, I get that. And the thing is also you can also say that even though you said she didn't care, it's also she's a sense of giving you the space to learn too. So we'll take it.
she could tell because
the beating you over the head things is.
I much prefer. I would rather struggle with not having enough guidance and figuring my own stuff out than struggle with trying to follow what people are saying. In fact, that's where my biggest problems came in.
yeah.
Was where I got that advice, that thing like don't smile till Christmas or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I took that to heart, and I mean, not I didn't.
Terrible.
I didn't-
So bad.
It's the worst advice, and I didn't, obviously didn't literally do that, but I tried to make myself this super strict person, and it's just not my vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's different ways to achieve respect, and do you have to be stern sometimes? Of course.
Right.
But like I tried to like really like be sort of like taskmaster or whatever, and it's just they saw right through it because it was fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing is, don't try and alter your entire personality to meet someone's expectations.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think their way is the best way.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool, that's the best way for
you.
you. And you just put yourself first too.
Yeah.
That's we'll get there.
Yeah.
But-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was your experience?
Well,
like?
my first year, it was so hard in the sense of like combating the teachers who thought I was just too young and didn't know. Because
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, I literally went to high school, went straight to get my teaching license, and then graduated and went back to teaching. So my students were like 3 years younger than me,
Yeah.
if that,
Oh, that's so crazy.
Yeah. So I was a 21-year-old
wild.
teacher.
Yeah.
So like it was, so the other teachers was like, oh, here we go. Like immediately, all I did was appear.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
I just showed up. And so they made me feel like there was a lot that I didn't know, which I didn't, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
But they also made me feel like I didn't know anything.
Right.
So that balance was necessary. Like, I remember one teacher in particular who I was like trying something new, like a vibe. I just wanted, this was before classrooms were like, something off of HGTV.
Yeah.
I was the person who was trying to like create that vibe
Yeah.
and that, so what are you trying to do? Like, what are you trying to show off? That type of thing. And
Yeah.
it's
You
like,
think you're better than us.
yeah, you're
like,
yeah. And they would like literally, and this was on a previous episode too, where they like literally they would like penalize you, it feels like, for trying to do better. Like,
Right.
no, because you're setting the bar too high and you're gonna make it for the rest of us higher. So that kind of stuff was always interesting in combating that, but also the fact of the matter of like them just not making me feel like, hey, it's okay. Like, you're going to learn, you're going to get there, versus like, you need to do this. And then the coming behind you, like when a student walked in and they weren't in proper or they were in running dress code or something like that. And this girl had walked in and the teacher came to me and she was like, did you see her walk past you? And you did not stop her. You're going to need to learn. You need to nip this in the bud from the beginning. Like, and stuff like, I'm like trying to keep up with everything. I'm like, wait, what?
Nah,
Yeah.
man. What?
Yeah. But then I had the opposite side with my cooperating teacher for my student teaching. Because my first year was also my first year of teaching, but it was also counted as my student teaching, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, because our county was short on teachers. So they made my last year of college, basically my first year of teaching, to be my student teaching, but also my first year of teaching.
I was lateral entry, which
yeah.
is that what they call it everywhere? That's what
No,
they call it. So,
ours is provisional.
Yeah, okay. So I actually don't have a teaching degree. I never did. I just it was another like sort of desperation
like
thing, I think.
Yeah.
And and so they hired me and I was basically taking classes as I was I didn't know how to do anything.
Oh,
anything.
Wow, that's
I was
hard.
thrown into it. Nonetheless, I really hated it when like an administrator or another or whatever would come in and like be like, y'all need to behave better, blah, 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 blah. I'd be like, don't
Undermine.
take my, don't take my, like, let me drown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll find my way out of it.
Yeah, that's
Like,
good.
I hated that.
Yeah.
more than
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. I think it becomes very apparent, like when you're in college, you think that like kind of teaching is all going to be the same. Like everyone is kind of doing the same thing. And I think going into a school and having a mentor teacher, like seeing the way that different people teach and run their classrooms, it becomes very obvious very quickly how much personality goes into teaching. And how different we all are. And I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought everyone would like want to have fun with their kids and like laugh and like
Same.
and you know just be the fun one.
Yeah.
No,
not at all.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That worked for their
Yeah.
classroom.
Yeah.
It just didn't work for me. And like you were saying, a lot of times, like I felt like I was being pushed into that box. Like you need to be more, disciplinarian, and and you need to do this and this, and that's just like wasn't who and it didn't come off authentic,
Right.
Because that's not who I am.
Yeah.
At
And
all.
I feel like one thing on the flip side with veteran teachers that's great is sometimes they're, a lot of them will teach you like to kind of relax a little bit sometimes, depending on who they are. Sometimes it's like, no, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Like they tell,
right.
sometimes they tell you what not to, like, you stress out about fill in the blank, whatever. And they're like, no, don't. You don't even have, sometimes they're like, you don't even have to do that. No one's going to check, a lot of that stuff.
That's nice.
I did always appreciate, and not every veteran teacher is going to do that, but the ones anyone who does that, that's who I immediately trusted.
I'm like,
if they're like giving me inside, they're not like trying to say like, well, you have to earn it. You have to like go through what I went through, all that stuff. It's like, no, I'm going to give you a shortcut. Who cares about this, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
When they're that's the kind of stuff where they're actually trying to help rather than trying to impose their view, their whatever on you.
I remember the first time like sitting down into a lunch, because we all like ate lunch together. And the veteran teacher that was my mentor teacher, like started kind of talking crap about the principal. And I was like,
you're like, all right, I trust this person.
You're like, okay,
this is what we can do. Like
we're allowed?
Oh yeah.
We're allowed to do this? Yeah.
Like 50% of what you do.
That's basically like, and it turned into all of our lunches, which can be very negative at times. Yeah. So just be careful with how much you take that in.
Balance it out.
Yeah, balance it out.
But do you guys agree that there's a difference between like a veteran teacher and a veteran teacher who's about to retire?
They're my favorite.
Yeah. The veteran teachers that are about to retire.
And they don't give a what.
The vibes.
It's so funny.
The dirty looks they give, usually not to other teachers, usually more to just say, like, you think I'm doing that my last year?
Yeah. You know what my favorite?
Right.
It's
good luck getting me to do that.
It's in the staff meeting, and it's an audible.
like
I love that.
Exactly.
I love
Betty,
it.
like,
Exactly.
go off.
And it's awesome to see. And because I was teaching with a veteran teacher who was retiring about 2 years ago. And he was like, I was like, okay, so we got to, we're going to be late to the meeting. I was like, you ready? Because he wanted me to go with him. And he's like, okay, calm down.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly it.
He's
But
like, okay, calm down.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. And then I remember I was saying like, and obviously with doing social media and stuff, I'm always making videos and stuff at school. And I asked him to be in a video with me. He's like, we should do one where it's new teacher versus veteran teacher. And he's like, and then I'll be the veteran teacher. I was like, I don't think I should record that. Let's
Not a good idea.
That's probably not the best idea. Because he was like, yeah, I'm letting it all out. I was like, yeah, no, we're good. So there's a huge difference in being with a veteran teacher and a veteran teacher who's retiring that year. So.
There's another thing that, again, if you get the right person, the right veteran teacher, they're going to, I think a huge mistake that first year teachers make is trying to get overly involved.
Yeah.
They're like, I feel like veteran teachers are really good at being like boundaries.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Draw them
Yep.
immediately.
Yeah.
Say no.
Yeah.
Like the first time you say no, they'll probably, admit, and I'm not saying that works everywhere and all the time. And your school and like what is a good idea to do and not.
Right.
But like oftentimes I had some admin ask me to do something one time and I was just like, I don't want to do that. And they were like, why? I was just like, I just don't want to.
Yeah.
Look
And
at
I was like, if you're like telling me I have to, then okay.
Yeah.
But I don't want to.
The strongly encouraged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would tell. I'd be
yeah.
like, are you telling me I absolutely have to?
Is this an order?
Because I will. Essentially, that's what I would ask, and it worked. And I will. One thing I want to acknowledge, just like for this whole episode, is like there's definitely like male privilege that comes along with teaching. Like that's just true. There just is. You immediately get more respect. Yeah.
There is?
Well, I'm looking at you guys while I'm saying this, but I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I just want to acknowledge that I know. You know what I mean? So there's a lot like that saying no to an admin's face, probably a little more leeway for me. Like some unfair stuff.
Unfortunately, like I feel like I have the face that I just like automatically say,
Yeah.
Honestly, you do.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, and you know how it is. Like it's funny, like because we'll be like, yeah, I'm not, and then by the time, sure,
Yeah.
whatever you say.
And I didn't. Yeah, I'm acting like I was hardcore. I said yes when I didn't want to. Plenty.
Well, and I also think it depends on the admin. It's almost like the mom and dad situation where, like, you can get it. So if you ask your dad, you may get the answer yes. If you ask your mom, you probably won't. So you go to your dad instead of your mom. Same with my like principal and assistant principal. I know who to go to and who not to go to.
Right.
Because I know who's going to say most likely say yes and who's not.
Yeah.
So you gotta just choose wisely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's also something I've learned from a veteran teacher is it's like, listen, this is who you're gonna go to. Because like, especially if you're a new teacher and you're new at a school, listen to them. They know who is who and who's not.
Yeah.
Like, get the inside scoop on like, who do you go to? Like, who's what? Like their reputation. And not their reputation, because sometimes that can be misleading. Because give everybody a fresh start, of course. But when it comes to the mom and dad or the assistant principal and the principal of who's going to say yes and no, that's pretty accurate, usually.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I feel like is that, and I've never thought this really like articulated this till just now, but I feel like a good sort of measure of like who you should listen to in terms of veteran teachers is like the people who are giving you advice about what to do not in the classroom. I feel like they're the ones who you trust because they're like, because they're talking about all the like little things that aren't important or shouldn't be important or whatever. I feel like a lot of the time if you get advice about in classroom, they're trying to like put stuff, and this is not an absolute by any means, but like that's something that now that I'm thinking about it, the people I always trusted the most were the ones who are like, don't worry about that. There's nothing that makes me trust someone more than the sentence, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, all right. That's right.
Yeah. Some of these are like really, some of these comments are really sad. And
let's do it. Awesome.
Let's just dive right in.
Can we just mainly do those?
Yeah. Okay. This one I have thoughts on, just the first part. I didn't have any problems with veteran teachers because they avoided the new teachers like the plague. Which also led me to not having the opportunity to learn from them, and I reinvented the wheel more than I should because I didn't have the knowledge, support, resources, or mentorship. And I think that's kind of something that you were touching on, or I can't remember. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Somebody.
It's the person in the middle, the invisible person in the middle between you two that I'm going to give credit to. I think a lot of times we are so, as teachers, I don't know what it is, we're so threatened by new. And we're so threatened by someone being excited about teaching. There's almost this need to be negative at all times. To beat them down. I don't know why. Yeah. I'm like, sorry that we're like that. Yeah. But
I mean, to some degree, depending on like who you're talking about and what aspect of teaching you're talking about, like you have to sort of suppress the instinct of misery loves company. Yeah. You know, because I think sometimes that's it. It's just like that I've gotten like, you know, when I like made videos or whatever talking about boundaries, right? And about something like not like don't volunteer for stuff, et cetera, et cetera. The anger I get from those things from veteran teachers, like who have not drawn those boundaries. You know, they're not saying this, but I'm kind of reading between the lines. Yeah. These are people who've been teaching for 25 years and never drew those boundaries. Right. So they're like, no, they can't like accept in their mind that like they may have made a mistake. Right. They're like, no, I did it right and you're wrong, because if you're right, that means I've wasted 20 years.
Right. Yes.
Overextending myself, and my brain can't accept this.
Yeah, it's like that's a no.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, or the idea that like new teachers, like we want to protect them and keep them safe and their mental health like intact. And I think, you know, those boundaries, they're like, nope. I was at school from 6 a.m. till 7 p.m. and you will too. Yep. And it was amazing. Yep. Yeah. Or it was really hard and I still do it. And you need to do it too.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
No, I won't. Okay. And again, a good veteran teacher might say something like, I didn't draw boundaries earlier. I have had these. It can be the same reality for that teacher as the other teacher. But instead of saying, well, now you have to too, it's hazing, it's whatever, or it's forever hazing, is and be like, I made this mistake. Hey, you shouldn't. That'd be great. I want to help you out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah. That's an opportunity for sure.
Yeah.
But that's common though amongst teachers, period. Is like, I don't know about you guys, but I think there's this I don't know, just in my opinion, there's this overarching thing of like feeling like you're going to get fired at any moment. Like anything you do can get you fired. So like, I think to admit something like that for a veteran teacher would just mean that I know I didn't. Like, you know what I mean? Like that whole getting in trouble mindset is like so common amongst teaching. Like, I don't do this because I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to do this or because I'm going to get wrote up. Or I'm going to do this because, you know, and it's like constant, like that paranoia almost in a sense that you're going to get fired or do something wrong or like get a smack on the hand. And so for a veteran teacher to admit something like that is a lot, but I mean, it's great, but it would be a lot because then they'd have to openly admit that they did something, whatever.
Yeah. Which you should.
No, 100% still.
No, I know. I know you were.
Thing of like saying sorry.
Just like admit that you like admit it. Just admit it. It's gonna help. It's gonna feel it feels better to admit it too than to like hold on to this idea that I did everything right my whole entire career and you should do it right too, and you're also gonna be miserable.
Yeah. I think newer teachers coming in have such a value to a school. And I think I was actually talking to a teacher. She's in her second year, and she is doing before school care, after school care, running the spelling bee, running like another like holiday event that they do at their school. And I was like, you know, you don't have to do that, right? Like you can say no. And she was like, no, like I'm the new teacher, so it goes on me.
No.
And you know why she's doing that? Because some freaking bitter other teacher or admin or both decided to like say you're new, therefore you have to pay your dues. It's like no.
Why is not a thing?
No, it's not a thing. And all that is doing is teaching the people, you know, in the higher up positions, it's teaching them that you will do anything with no thanks or question. And like
then you get more.
Oh, you are absolutely punished. You are punished for volunteering. It is. In fact, that is if I am going to give advice to any new teacher, that's literally number one is don't volunteer for anything.
Yeah.
You'll end up doing something. They'll find something to volunteer you for.
Sure.
It's not like you're not going to get to do it. And the only exception maybe would be if it's something you're extremely passionate about and you really want to do it, you know.
Yeah.
That, okay, great. Knock yourself out.
If it's something worth the mental space and time.
If it's something you're going to be like disappointed if you don't get to do.
Right.
You know, like do that.
Right. Yeah.
But volunteering for volunteering's sake, No,
Don't.
never,
No.
ever. This is a job. You should get paid for it.
Yeah. So I think like there's this, I really want to protect the first year teachers and just saying like, yeah, you don't have to volunteer.
That was all I ever did. I'd be like,
Someone will do it. You do not have to.
Well,
you do not have to.
I love the veteran teachers who are like the mama bear, you know, in a sense. Like that you go in and they're like, anything you need, honey, I have it all. Like I've been here for 30 years. I have enough lesson plans. I have enough of this. I haven't have a candy jar. If you need, you know, stickers, whatever you need, you just let me know. That's amazing. Like the ones who don't hoard their lessons, because someone had said here in the comments that the veteran teachers were great, but they did constantly tell me to get out of the profession. But the worst part was that they would hoard their ideas, their lessons, their supplies, their everything, and keep it away from them. So that, in a sense, can be a little disconcerting. I mean, and it's concerning in a sense because of the fact that we're supposed to all be in this together. Like, and I don't know why this weird level of competition is amongst teachers. Like, there's no reason we should be competing with each other. Like, we're all supposed to be cooperating with each other, working with each other, collabing, like whatever works.
If they gave out bonuses, by all means, compete away.
Compete, 100%.
But no one's paying you to be the best.
Dog eat dog, but you're not getting paid. We're not getting paid for this.
Yeah, and we didn't pay a competition entry fee either. So, like, that's not how it works. And so, like, the hoarding, and I get some schools, they don't have funding. And so a lot of the instructional supplies come out of teachers' personal pockets and Amazon wish lists and all the things. I get it. However, if there is an opportunity for you to initially help out, offer some sort of assistance. When
it's not gonna like cost you anything,
right?
Or like very, very little. Like it's a thing. It's a thing with comedy too, like headliners and stuff. It's just like, if it's not going to cost you anything to be kind to someone, or it's not going to cost you anything to do XYZ, why not?
Right.
Like there's no good reason other than that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you.
And
like if you can, you can.
Yeah. And it also like comes down to school culture as well.
Totally.
Yes.
And what the school is promoting amongst the staff. If it is like a dog eat dog, you know, type of culture, then you're going to get a lot of that. But the healthier schools are going to promote, you know, collaborating and taking care of each other,
prioritizing yourself.
Yes.
That's something that is not always advantageous for people to tell teachers, because they want to get a lot of work out of them. But something that you're not told is that prioritizing yourself, not only is it just like you have to do that because you're a human being and you want life to not be bad, but in addition to that, it is my firm belief that putting yourself first, and I do mean over students. You are number one over students. You are number one over other teachers. You are number one over everything happening in that building. You are number one because you have to look out for yourself, or no one else will.
Yeah.
And I think it makes you a better teacher. And it sets a good example, because if you're showing students that you'll just do anything and you're just going to like volunteer for everything, you're teaching them not to have boundaries.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to like, I know a lot of teachers just love doing a bunch of stuff and truly love it. And that's great. Do it. And a lot of teachers like are in a sort of environment where it feels a little threatening. So I'm not like, you know, saying, how dare you not be putting yourself first? Sometimes you're just not in that situation where you can. Yeah. But doing your best to put yourself first always is going to make you a better teacher.
Yeah.
That's my maybe unpopular opinion, but
well, I feel like as teachers, it's very robotic to almost say, I'm here for the kids. Like
the martyr complex.
Yeah, the martyr complex.
Which is encouraged.
Very real.
It's encouraged.
Oh,
yeah.
It is.
And shameful if you are not, you know, a part of it. But I think that's kind of where we definitely need to be leaning. And I could hear the audible gasp from some people when you say, put yourself first.
Yeah. Oh, I know. There's going to be some comments.
That's not... preparing myself. Because that's not what teaching is.
Ever. At least not what it should be, for sure.
Well, yeah, no. And the thing is also is when it comes down to veteran teachers and like the things that they say, just know that like, I know it sounds ridiculous to tell adults this, but watch what you say. Or at least how you say it. You can literally, give helpful criticism but in a constructive and polite way. Like,
Right.
I mean, you know, and remember, these are your colleagues, not your children, even though some of my teachers, I mean, veteran teachers could be my mom, but, you know, like even just remembering how to talk to people and like, because I'm going to receive it a lot better if you come at me the right way than how some of these teachers tend to come to people.
Yeah.
And it's like repeated twice on in the comments where teachers have said that like either the veteran teachers didn't talk to them because they're replacing a teacher that they wanted to stay.
Because they were friends with the teacher I replaced.
Yeah.
That's the one that I circled.
Yeah, I was
like, that's messed up, and
They're
it's
not
so
talking
real.
to you.
It's so real,
But it's
though.
so
It's
true.
so real. I had to fight those feelings myself sometimes.
Yeah.
I tried to be conscious of it because I'm like, it's not their fault.
Right, but they
I'm just
replaced
like,
them, yeah.
I'm just like, you
Not the
took their
same.
spot.
You're not the
that.
same. We're not the
So
same.
it is. I think we can give a little bit of allowance and say it's natural to feel that way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you gotta resist that.
Well,
You gotta
yeah,
fight
we're
that.
adults and
But
professionals.
a lot of people don't.
No,
fight
they
it.
don't. I'm not gonna lie. Well, and that's
for
what
the
I'm
teacher.
saying.
That's for the what was it? Board teachies. where you get, that's the Mean Girls version, where you get to be like, you're new. You
'Cause
took
it's
away
so
my
sad.
friend. I will destroy you.
Legit.
Burn book.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, that you got to be careful with what you said, because look at this one teacher said that she thought she had landed her dream job at a community college, but what ended up happening is like literally the people started telling her, well, everybody's disappointed because only the department head wanted to hire you. Nobody else wanted to hire you.
Don't say
That
that.
is-
That's so mean.
There is.
Why are you sharing?
You are gaining nothing by saying that to someone
Nothing.
other than just the toxic power over them that you want, which probably
That
maybe
was your point.
it may work. Congratulations, I guess. You're like the worst. You are effectively the worst.
Right.
Congrats.
Right.
I'm proud of you. Like
That's what you were looking for.
High five.
Well
you
done.
got it. You did it.
Yeah.
Well done.
So how are y'all different from when you were brand new teachers to now? I mean, you're both, obviously
Yeah.
26 years old, both of you.
Well, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, that's
But-
totally.
Yeah.
Well, I know for me, like I had my first student teacher, like as the teacher.
Oh,
That was
wow.
crazy.
That's so
That
weird.
was so weird. So I had my first student teacher and I was so excited. It was like getting a new baby.
Getting a new baby.
It's like, hi.
Hi, come
Yeah, she probably was like,
honey.
let me out of here.
Yeah.
But I was
Buying
so
a new car.
excited.
You would be the dream. You would be the dream.
We had so much fun. We had
mentor teacher.
So
Oh my
much fun.
gosh.
Oh my goodness. But I would say I'm different now in the sense of just like we talked about earlier, just admitting like I don't know everything, but I can tell you what I do know that has helped me.
100%.
But take the meat and leave the bones. That's what I always
Yeah.
say. It's something my husband always says.
That's great.
Take the meat and leave the bones. When you're giving somebody information, tell them to take the meat and leave the bones. What doesn't work for you doesn't work for you.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And so, that's something that I've learned now to do versus like before being like, you gotta just try your best. Like do whatever you can. Like do this, do that. Like, no, do you. And
Do
be
you.
authentic. Like I used to be like, well, let's look and see how she does this. And then that's how I used to try to program myself.
Yeah.
Well, she's got the good test scores or she's got the good this and the other. I must be having to do things like she does.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
That's not how it goes.
You have to figure out what works for you, and you being authentic is going to make you that much better of
Yeah.
a teacher and make it work that much better.
And by all means, like expose yourself to those teachers.
Oh, for sure.
If you see teachers succeeding and you want to see like what's working for them, by all means.
Yeah.
But like just because it works for them does not mean that
No,
it will
for
work
sure.
it doesn't make you a failure if it doesn't work for
Exactly.
you.
Right.
And that's why PLCs are so important.
Yes.
The professional learning communities. I know everybody calls them different things now.
Yeah, that's what we PLCs.
Yeah.
We call them.
In my old school, they called them something else, like C something. I can't remember. But PLCs is what I go.
Basically, subject matter within your grade level.
Mhm.
Basically,
Exactly.
In case, yeah.
Yeah, and you're collaborating and helping and working with each other. And so in our PLC meetings, I remember in a sense of what you asked about changing, I know now that I go in, I'm like, hey, here's what I've been doing, da da da. Here's feel free. Anybody need like this idea and want to use
Take
it,
it or
whatever. For feel free, I can give you a copy.
It's a beautiful thing to say.
That
Take it or don't.
Yes. And that has changed from the beginning because it used to be like I was trying to prove this point, like I'm a good teacher. Like and that's the thing that we have to be careful about, especially when I was new, is trying to prove my merit through my students.
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to prove the fact that
Well
I'm a
said.
good teacher through my students. I had to
Well
shift that
said.
from trying to prove their merit to me trying to prove my merit to proving theirs. So it's not about me trying to prove my merit through my students, but my students to see their true merit.
Yeah.
Like, and whatever that looks like. If it looks like you only scored a 60% on whatever, because that's the best that you could do, I don't care. If it's the best that you could do,
you got a 20 earlier.
You
know what I mean?
Right.
Even it's not about grades still, but
well, and that's what I'm saying, because that's what we want to feed to these kids, is to do the best that they can, not to get the best score that they can, but do the best that they can.
Yeah.
And if that score, whatever that score is the best that they could do. Because I had students the other day, this is so funny we're talking about this, because literally the other day I had students who were talking in front of me, and they thought I wasn't paying attention, which cracks me up that they think we're deaf. But they were talking and they were like, hey, when we take this test, just get low on purpose, because then it'll show we improved when we take it again in the spring. And I'm like, see, this is not the point. Like, they're supposed to be trying to learn how to do what's best. Like, give your best effort.
Smart, though. It's kind of smart, though.
I was going to answer with, that was genius. But I hadn't gotten there yet. But yes.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I didn't mean to step on your punchline.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm used to it. No, it's but literally, like, they said that. And I was like, okay, that's not what it's about. We want the kids to do their best at all times. But then when they said it, I'm like, I had never thought about it like that. But that's genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like, literally, we need to improve a certain percentage, so why not score horribly so we can do that?
Yeah.
And so then again, like, whatever our goals are, like you had said earlier, like, whatever us as teachers is our motivator is, it's going to spill over into the kids. It's going to be reflected in our teaching. Yeah. So, like, that's something I often also tell teachers, is that your self-esteem is reflected in your teaching. So if you don't like you, how can you expect your students to like you? Like, that's something that I really try to push, especially with my student teacher. I was like, be you, be yourself, but make sure that you are the best you that you can be. Like, before you're trying to feed the kids this stuff. Yeah. Because if you like you, your students will too. But again, that's something that's changed over the years. My self-esteem was shot initially. But now my self-esteem, I like me. I like having the kids. I like being with the kids. And it shows so much in your teaching.
That's another thing where it's setting an example. You want to show, and again, you're not always, sometimes your happiness is not all the way in your control, and that's real life.
Right. Yeah.
But like, if you can manage the trick, showing students a happy person that loves themselves, what do we want them to be when they grow up?
Right.
A person who loves themselves.
Right.
So if you're with that martyr complex or whatever, and you're coming in dragging miserable every day, they're just like, well, I guess this is what being an adult is.
Yeah. They're like, yeah.
Like, honestly.
Don't sign me up
honestly,
for that.
And so they end up like thinking it's normal. The more examples they get of that, the more they think it's normal. Just like, all right, so I'm an adult and I'm extremely unhappy. Well, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
It's like, you show them that, like, you have a pretty good amount of control over loving yourself and being happy. Not total control all the time. Circumstances are real. Biochemistry is real. Mental health it's all, but like, showing them that it's possible.
Yeah. Agreed. I think, like, when I was a first year teacher, I took myself super seriously and thinking that I was not allowed. I was a professional. They hired me to be a professional. I was not allowed to ask questions. I was supposed to know this and supposed to know that.
Yeah.
And I think I just took myself so seriously that I lost out on a lot of, like, learning opportunities. So I think that's where I'm a little bit different. I think just getting to know yourself as a teacher is super important. Like, give yourself a few years to figure out what your style is and what your voice is. And
such a good point.
Yes.
It's gonna be rough. Like, you're gonna have beautiful moments, and and maybe you're the exception, and it's perfect the first year. Maybe it's you.
Maybe.
But most likely it's gonna be tough. It's very well maybe worth it, but it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
So, like, give yourself some grace. Like, do your thing. Is there stuff that, like, that happened? I have a particular example of this.
Ooh, okay.
Is there stuff that happened your first year that really, like, either stressed you out, or you took really seriously, or you freaked out, or you panicked, or whatever? And if that had happened, like, later, you would have just laughed about it? I have one very specific example.
Okay, give us one.
Should I go? Okay.
Yeah.
So we had recess on the baseball field sometimes.
Okay.
And we went down there one day, and in the infield, in the dirt, someone, and by someone I mean multiple people, it had to have been multiple people, chiseled in this massive penis Can we talk about this on here? I don't know. Be ready to edit out. Mark the time. But it was like detailed. It was good. Like, it was good. They did like a great job.
Are we talking
no
about
pun
like
intended.
first to second base, or like
just
What season? Wow.
second base? You're a G. How have I've done this as a bit on stage for years. And I've never thought about the bases. Am I a bad comedian?
She apparently just nailed that.
That was amazing.
Thank you. I'm on the board teachers comedy tour.
No, that's hats off. Hats off. I almost just want to abandon the story. No, but so I freaked out. I was like, this is like bad, like I thought this mattered. I thought this was a big deal. I thought like, oh no, kids can't see this, whatever. Which is idiotic in retrospect. But so here's the worst part. I got like, there were some kids from my this is so embarrassing. There are some kids. There's some kids from my homeroom, and I was trying to get them to come over and fix it.
Yeah.
So we're just like kicking at this penis.
Trying to castrate
a whole bunch, just like trying to I don't know what I thought how dirt worked. Like, I thought we could just kind of like kick at it and it would smooth it out. I don't know why I thought that. But all it did was just make it just like we were just kicking at this thing, which is really upsetting.
Weirder.
Really upsetting. Think about seeing that, and there's like a hillside. So think about you're on the hillside and you see me just kicking at it, just like for sure gonna go to court later. Like, but so I went up. I was like, okay, this is stupid. I was like freaking out, and I went up this hillside I mentioned, and the PE teacher / athletic director was up there, and he like handled all the facilities and everything, and I was like, hey, there's this going on in the field, and I pointed to it, and he just goes, like, he just started laughing his ass off.
Like,
and
I'm not sure.
And I was just like, no, that was a revelatory moment for me, because I was just like, oh, we can just laugh. This is not a big deal.
Yeah.
These kids see this stuff and draw this stuff every day on every desk in every book. Chisel. It was amazing.
The art skills. Who did this? Because I need to refer you.
I'm not
to
even
the
kidding.
club.
I won't go too far. If you want to see me do stand up on the Board Teachers Comedy Tour, I go a little more into it. But I do. I give details. It makes people uncomfortable. It's awesome. But like this was a level that they're better friends now. Like, this was a bonding experience. Like, that's how good it was.
They made art.
Can we just talk about this for the rest of the time? That'd be good. No, so that's an example of like the kind of thing that I freaked out about, that I worried about, which I learned immediately from the reaction of the athletic director. It was just like, this is fine.
Pick your
You
battles.
laugh and walk away.
Yeah.
Well, something that happened mine that based on your question, like that happened my first year that wouldn't be a big deal now, is I know it sounds crazy and it may make me a horrible teacher, whatever, but the kids that didn't want to participate, obsessing of trying to get them to participate. Nowadays, I'd be like, do you, boo? Moving on. Next student, because I do not have time or energy to sit here and beg you to do an assignment. I tell the kids, you are high school. I was like, in a few years, you're going to be walking out those double doors and you're going to be an adult. At your job, you have a right to decide to call out and not work. So guess what? Do you? Like, I'm not stressing it anymore. Now I'm just like, all right. And I just teach to the kids who want to learn. Yeah. Because if you obsess like I used to, it was ridiculous. Like, because I was afraid admin was going to walk in at any moment for a surprise observation. Because I don't know about y'all, but when admin walks in, it takes my blood pressure to stroke level.
I don't. It's not my favorite.
Like, And so I didn't want them to walk in, and the student was not doing anything. So I'm like fixated on this one student versus all the rest who were trying to learn.
Yeah.
And so nowadays, being a veteran teacher, now I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
But that's your choice.
Are you messing up the rest of the class? No.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's like I think that's probably what I would say for my answer too, is I fixated on the one student that was not doing what they were supposed to be doing. Like, and I fixated on it and I made it my issue, and it ruined my day every single day because they were not like doing what they were supposed to. They were not listening. And like, I made that my problem every single day. And that's just how to be defeated 101
Same.
every single day.
Yep. I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's that control thing, right?
Mhm.
Trying to control. It's like you cannot, and then it also goes into student circumstances too. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
They might have all kinds of stuff going on. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, that's a big one. That's a
Yeah.
big one. Just not
Yeah.
fixating on. I feel like that's a huge thing, is figuring out what not to care about.
Yeah.
You know?
And I figure out that like a huge difference too between just like I said, there's a veteran teacher and a veteran teacher who's about to retire. There's also a difference in first year teachers. There's a first year teacher who just got out of college, who's fresh, but then a first year teacher who's a career switcher who came from like corporate America and has now decided to become a teacher. There's a huge
I'm
difference.
sorry, honey.
It's a huge difference. Like, it cracks me up when one of our career switcher teachers, and what I mean by a career switcher is a teacher obviously who was teaching in a different profession is now decided to become a teacher. And because of the teacher shortage, there's all these alternative programs they can go through.
Yeah.
Well, this teacher comes
You
in and
got
she
it
goes,
right here.
so when's our break? And I'm like, like you get a planning period, but during that planning period, you may have a duty.
Yeah.
Wait, so like, but when do we eat? I'm like, during that time or either at lunch, like when the kids are with you or, so like that dynamic is different as well. So there's a difference between just first year college who understand what's going on. And then a first year teacher who comes out of corporate America is like, wait, what is happening? What do you mean I can't take a day off? What do you mean I only get 2 personal
Is this
days?
legal?
And where is the Nespresso machine?
Yes. Yes.
And the unlimited snacks you're allowed to have.
Yeah.
And the flavored water machine.
Right. Exactly.
Very much a thing.
And
Not
what cracks
here.
me up,
Not
and this
here.
is so funny, like, because, and this is not a slight, this is just being honest. Like, Abbott Elementary was so funny. I've watched, I love that show, but
I do too.
I was
It's very
watching the episode where the teachers left for their planning period to go get their nails done. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
huh.
I remember.
Like,
When I watched that show from the angle, like critiquing it
Yeah.
and being like, how were they all in the staff room
Right.
at the same time?
Right. I feel like that's a thing. I feel like that's a thing with TV shows in general, is never watch a show that's about your actual job.
Yes, because
They're just gonna be
you're
like,
like,
wrong.
don't believe you.
Yeah.
I do
Takes
think,
me right out of
yeah,
it.
Abbott gets a lot of stuff right.
Yeah,
but,
they do.
Yes,
They're
yes.
on it.
But
They're on
they
it.
get a lot of stuff
And
where
it's
it's just
hilarious.
like that nails thing. It's just like, no.
No.
Absolutely
Well, and
not.
the thing is, though, is that's what I'm saying. Like, the corporate teacher comes in, corporate America person comes in as a teacher, and they're like, so where are we going for lunch today? To the cafeteria?
to the room where there's 3 microwaves
Yeah.
and one of them
I'm gonna
works, but it's a
open
different
my-
one every
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Open my desk drawer and hope
Yeah.
there's a Pop-Tart in there.
Or,
Yeah.
maybe an old
There's
granola
one
bar.
of
Yeah, there's
2
just
Pop-Tarts
one.
left.
It's still been
Never
open.
happens
It's slightly
for me.
stale.
And there's a little
Never.
nibble out of it, and you're like, I'm not asking questions about what that is. I'm hungry.
I'm hungry enough. Yeah, but like the leaving for lunch is what cracks me up.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's-
oh no, that's not a thing.
That's not-
Even on work days nowadays, it's almost not a thing. So now I'm
Yeah.
like, listen, I just so happen to leave, like
Yeah.
head out,
Uh-huh.
and then I
Yeah.
somehow don't return. But whatever.
Yeah, whenever I'm in a PD and there's like an opportunity to leave after lunch, like in this like,
Yes.
what do you want? Notice that I didn't
Exactly.
come
That's
back.
another veteran thing. though.
Yes.
You find
If you
these
see
little
a veteran
pockets.
teacher packing up her bag
Get your ass
during
out.
lunch, yeah, you pack up your bag. That's the veteran
Time to
teacher
go.
you
Yes.
follow right out
Yep.
to the parking
Yes.
lot.
Yep. Yep.
And they're like, why are you following me? You're like, don't worry about it.
Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
And just
I'm
following your
following
lead.
suit. I'm following
No, they'll
suit.
get it. They'll be like, well done, new kid.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. What is it? The
Let me
student has
buy you a
become the
drink.
teacher.
It is noon. Let me buy
Let me
you
buy
a drink.
you
I
a
said.
drink, though.
I did not stutter.
I will do it.
Like the student has become the teacher.
That's right.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's another thing too. Like, I had said this not too long ago about work days. I told my friend, I was like, now, like literally when I was in first year teaching, or even first few years, let's be for real, on work days, I was like there at the time we're supposed to be there, like because we're supposed to still come at the time of school hours.
Mhm.
So you still get there at 7:15, and you can't leave till 2:45 with no kids in the building, and you've done everything because you're caught up. Like, bro.
If you can get
And
away
I was
with
still there. But nowadays, I mean, close your ears, my admin. But like, I walk by, make sure everybody sees me,
Yeah.
office, everybody sees me, and I'm out.
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
She out.
Okay, I would love to play some of these calls that we got in
Yes.
from teachers. If you would like to have your call played on the Teachers Off Duty podcast, click the link in the descriptions, and we might just play your call
We may.
live on the air.
We love it. We
Okay.
love this. I love
So
this.
veteran teachers versus first year teachers. This is what our audience had to say. Oh, hold on.
Hello, Teachers Off Duty Board Comedy Podcast. First off,
pretty good.
I just want to say
I'll take
that
it.
I absolutely love your podcast. And then number two, one thing that I received from veteran teachers as a first year teacher last year was taking my kids during my class time. So they would have a study hall with their kids, and then they would pull kids to make up extra homework. And I teach choir, and choir is not required for my kids to do. And so I had a lot of veteran teachers just like telling me that they were holding kids without like asking permission. And so that is something that I struggled with as a choir teacher, and AKA not the top 4 classes that you need to graduate. So anyway,
Core, quote unquote.
that's kind of what I dealt with. And so that kind of sucked.
You probably have thoughts on
I
this.
was gonna say.
You have thoughts. You have
As an
thoughts.
elective
Yeah, girl.
teacher,
Legit. I am an elective, and that happens all the time. Like the veteran teachers are like, well, I kept them behind. Okay, why? Well, I'm a core subject, and they had this is what gets me.
don't be that teacher.
Yes, they had real work to make up. Ooh. Like real assignments to work. Like literally, what do you think I'm up there doing? Like just playing around? Like
Yeah.
this is a real class. Specials are a real class.
Yeah.
Like, and the teachers who have the audacity to call my classroom and ask me for a student, take them out of my class to come to their class and make up work because I'm just an elective. Are you
No.
kidding me? Like,
That's not
I
okay.
totally agree with what she
Yeah.
said. I don't
I do too.
mind. Now, I am the easiest teacher to get along with, no lie. But that kind of stuff is enough to throw
Don't
you over the
assume.
edge. Yeah,
Don't
don't
assume,
assume that you
because-
can just take them.
Because that's telling on yourself that you don't respect
Right.
that teacher and what they're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I think this is another thing where whether or not, specials or electives are like absolutely, whether a specific one is like absolutely something someone must take. That's why they're electives, because you pick which ones you want to do.
Yeah.
But that's so, even just from a mental health student for kids, I know the classes should be challenging and rigorous and everything, but it's also a break from just the stuff that
Mhm.
everyone
Yeah.
has to do
Yeah.
The
to
core.
something
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
is very likely something
Yeah.
they're interested
Yeah.
in. And giving and telling them that that's less important is again a terrible message.
Yeah.
Things that bring you joy are less important.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like the unified arts teachers who are first year teachers have an uphill battle in the sense
Yeah.
of like
Mm.
you have veteran teachers that aren't going to take you seriously.
Right.
Mhm.
Not just going to take your class seriously, but also who you are as a teacher and like what you're doing. And
Right.
that's so
Yeah.
hard. Like she was saying, like it's so hard to get across. Like, no, you can't take, like, I can't imagine being a first year teacher being like, no, like this
Yeah.
is my class time. You're
That's
not
a tough,
taking.
It's a tough thing to do. But
Yeah.
if you, again, that's one of those things where it's like, if you can manage the trick of sort of standing your ground right there, it's
Yeah.
easier said than done, not always really possible. But if you can do it,
Oh
it's,
yeah.
it's pretty
Yeah.
If
good.
you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also if a child is having behavior issues, that doesn't mean that you get to take away their favorite elective as well.
No.
I mean,
Don't
Or
do
their
that.
recess. I'm sorry.
Don't do that.
I know.
any teacher who has that mentality of like, I can just do whatever because I'm more important than whatever.
Mhm.
I want to like look at them and say, what would school be like if we didn't have electives or specials or
True.
whatever it's called? What does that look like?
Yep.
Tell me what that looks like.
Mhm.
What
And
would
then
school
tell
be
me
like
it
if
doesn't
you
matter.
weren't
And then
here?
tell me you can just do whatever you want.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Next caller.
The high school I taught at my first year of teaching was a 7 prep period day, along with an advisory period that occurred 4 out of the 5 days. I had freshmen for advisory as well as teaching 6 completely different electives
Mm.
during the day.
Uh-uh.
We were supposed to receive mentor teachers the beginning of school. It wasn't until January, so halfway through the school year, did I have the person who was asked to be my mentor come to me and tell me that they were too busy with their 3 different courses that they taught repeated throughout the day to be my mentor.
No.
So I never officially received a mentor in my first year of teaching.
Honey.
When I came back for my second year of teaching, I received a phone call congratulating me for being newly hired and new to the district, even though it was my second year of teaching.
Oh, dear.
And that they wanted me to go through teacher orientation again. And that they would assign me another mentor teacher for my second year of teaching, even though I'd already been through a full year of teaching.
Oh, no.
That's
so bad.
First things first on this, anybody, thank you for calling it. Anybody who tells you anything other than that's outlandish and crazy and ridiculous and unacceptable is gaslighting you, and they are wrong. You are not crazy. That's outlandish, unacceptable, not okay.
Come to her in January.
Right. And not only that, to tell her she's got to repeat the year.
To come to her in January to say, hey, you know how I haven't been here all year? That's going to continue.
Yeah. Just so you know.
FYI.
I was here, but not
that.
still.
And how many different? She said seven different, six different electives with,
and then
one
one
prep.
7 is advisory.
Yeah, or advisory.
The 7 one is advisory.
That is
now
astounding.
My first year was 7 preps. I'm not gonna lie.
For real?
I had 7 preps because of the content that I teach. It's family consumer sciences, which used to be called home ec. It's not called anymore. It's family consumer sciences. So I had to teach 7 preps, 45 minutes a pop. Mm-hmm.
That's another point we didn't talk about before. People not respecting elective special teachers.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, many like you're teaching this class for multiple grades.
So true.
Oh,
Like
right.
you probably have, certainly in your situation you're describing right there, you probably have more preps than the real teacher, you know, than core teacher.
Like I never thought about it like that.
Like I was teaching 1 grade.
Oh, right.
And so it was, I mean, I had to differentiate for like the, you know, the different classes, like who was in there and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But like you're teaching essentially entirely different classes.
Yeah, and average
they're
of like
related.
30 kids.
Even in elementary, like you had to prep for every single subject.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If you were self-contained.
Right.
But it's not like 6 subjects.
Yeah.
It was just the basics.
Well, and that's what happens with this specific elective. Like for family consumer sciences teachers across the board, like we're teaching multiple courses all the time. So it just depends on the subjects. I mean, the courses that school picks. And then if you're the only facts teacher, aka family consumer sciences teacher, you're teaching all of those preps. One way or the other, which I liked because I do like the versatility in the fact of no class is the same.
Yeah.
But I mean, can I get one the same? Just one. Just a little bit.
I was relating to you all the way up till the end.
Yeah.
You were like, in some ways, like it was different every class. That's chaos. I can't.
Well, no, because that's my personality. I'm blah like all the time. So it kind of works.
Fair enough. But I do, having said that, I do thrive in chaos.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. I'm the procrastinator who you would be like, she's been working on that for months. Nope. 15 minutes ago. Like,
yeah.
I'm that person. And I'm always trying to do something new and different and whatever. Like I'm always all over the place. But so it makes sense for me.
Yeah.
But, anyway.
Guys, this was such a good episode.
That
was fun.
It's over already?
It's over already.
Oh my God.
Yes, we're done.
Guys, thank you so much for listening to the Teachers Off Duty podcast this week. We hope that you have a fantastic week. I am Jess Smith, Teacher Tales of Miss Smith.
I am Jonathan Williams. I'm sitting in the middle, even though I wasn't leading things. Mr. Williams Comedy.
There it is.
And I'm Leslie Robb of Leslie Robb Comedy.
Go get those Saved by the Beach tickets.
Saved by the
And
Beach.
we'll see you next week.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.